From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for May 2024. Now May is the best time of the year in comic book stores because it's the kickoff for everything. May 4th, the first Saturday in May, is Free Comic Book Day, where we have tons of people in. We're giving away hundreds of free comic books. And the publishers use that as a means to kickstart their big summer events and things like that, to get the stuff out in front of you that they really want you to see. So that's exciting for me because it gets people excited. And I want people excited about comics. I want you excited to come in and see what's going on. And it seems like for a lot of the year, it's just kind of same old, next thing. And we try to make things exciting for the little things we have. But this time of year is when all the big stuff comes out. So what we have DC is previewing Absolute Power, which is going to be their big summer event. And with Absolute Power is Amanda Waller is finally making good on her threat to rid the world of metahumans. So that's not going to be good. Now Marvel has two things. Their first one, which actually starts first week in May, is Blood Hunt, where this is going to be a big vampire story. Vampires are attacking the Marvel Universe. And it also has a little look at the post-Krakoa X-books that will be starting later this summer. A lot of people are very excited. We're getting new X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, all sorts of stuff is coming. Then we also have another book which is previewing where Spider-Man is going, and also the new Ultimates book, which is kicking off from the Ultimate Universe. So those books are all previewing stuff that's going to be coming later this summer and just showing how exciting the stuff that they have is coming. Now there are a bunch of other books. There's a Johnny Quest book. There's a Maleficent book. There's all sorts of stuff from all the different publishers. There's a big Energon universe. If you're a fan of Transformers and G.I. Joe, there's a book there. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. All sorts of stuff coming out. And that is Saturday, May 4th. We're going to be opening up early. The books will be outside as long as the weather holds. And it's going to be a fun day. So, now, besides Free Comic Book Day, because Free Comic Book Day is landing on May 4th, what's May 4th? Star Wars Day, because of May the 4th be with you. So we're going to be focusing on Star Wars graphic novels this month. So look for our display of all the cool Star Wars graphic novels that have come out from Marvel and the stuff that they've reprint that was done previously at Dark Horse. For Book Club this month, which is fun, it lands on the 31st, so we have the whole month to get ready for it. But on Friday the 31st, we're going to be doing I Hate Fairyland, which is a book by Scotty Young, written and drawn by him. And in this book, follow Gert, a 40-year-old woman stuck in a 6-year-old's body, who has been stuck in that magical world of Fairyland for 30 years. Join her and her battle axe on a delightful blood-soaked journey to see who will survive the girl who hates Fairyland. So, now, because May is kicking off the big events, and the big events are starting at Marvel, we're going to start with talking about all the new stuff coming from Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics brings us Blood Hunt this summer by Jed MacKay and Pepe Larraz. The skies have gone dark, the sun hiding its face from the carnage to come. The children of the night, the vampires, have risen from the dark and hidden places of the world as one to drown the Marvel Universe in blood. Earth's final night has fallen. Can even the heroes of this doomed world stem the tide of blood that is to come? And then we're doing a ton of little miniseries tie-ins to this. We have Dracula Blood Hunt. All will bow to the Lord of Vampires. Blade is Dracula's ultimate nemesis, the most formidable vampire hunter in the world. Blade is Brielle Brooks' father, and who's training her to follow in his footsteps. But during the blood hunt, when day is night and all is not as it appears, these enemies may find their interests, however briefly, aligned. For the fate of humanity? We also have Midnight Suns Blood Hunt. The original Midnight Suns reunite to deal with the vampire threat unleashed in Blood Hunt. but first they must defeat one of their own, Blade. We have Union Jack the Ripper. Fun twist on the title there. As vampires inherit the earth, one lone man has made it his mission to protect it. But what does Joey Chapman, Union Jack, have up his sleeves? And will it be enough? And who will Union Jack have to face to keep London from falling? We have Blood Hunters, which is an anthology book, the first in a new anthology series that explores how the shattering events of Blood Hunt cover the breadth of the Marvel Universe. Hawkeye is on the run, but does he have enough trick arrows in his quiver to avoid both the long arm of the law and vampires out for his blood? Manwolf and J. Jonah Jameson do a little father-son bonding, while also fighting for their lives against a horde of bloodsuckers. And in a continuing story with Cloak missing in action, Dagger strikes on in search of a new and surprising allies. Witness the genesis of Marvel's wildest team yet, the Blood Hunters. We also have Black Panther Blood Hunt. Black Panther finds himself transformed into a vampire and tasked with carrying out the key mission for the vampire overlord. But even a dark transformation won't keep T'Challa from his duties to Wakanda, for better or worse. We also have Venom 33's tying in. As Earth is smothered in eternal night, Venom unleashes their lethal justice on hordes of blood-sucking vampires, threatening the innocence of New York City. But there's one vampiric foe that's thirst not for blood, but for symbiotes. Vampires aren't the only threat. The dead now rise. Lee Price, one-time host to the Venom symbiote, has been ripped from his grave, and he's got a bone, or a brain, to pick with his old partner. Vengeance of Moon Knight 5 ties in, also Avengers 14. With the current Avengers tied up and under siege during Blood Hunt, Captain Marvel calls for aid. And who better to assemble a new team of Avengers than Steve Rogers? Captain America gathers the forces of Quicksilver, Hawkeye, Hercules, and Hazmat to take on the hordes of vampires attacking all over the world. And when they encounter an organized army of vampires in uniform led by a surprise villain, it gets personal. We also have Strange Academy Blood Hunt. The vampire onslaught of Blood Hunt reaches worldwide all the way down to New Orleans, home of Strange Academy. Doyle Dormammu, Shaylee, Toth, Zoe, Germain get embroiled in an advance that will take them right into the center of Blood Hunt action. Doctor Strange 15 also picking up immediately after the shocking events of Blood Hunt 1. Strange and Clea must help the heroes of Earth fight back against the vampire army. But is it already too late for the Sorcerer Supreme? We're even tying into Spider-Man. Spider-Man 49. Vampires are running rampant through New York City, and while the Avengers are caught in the middle, someone has to take care of the citizens of New York, of the Big Apple. That person, Spider-Man. But if only it were that simple. Things never are. We also have Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt miniseries. Spinning directly out of Amazing Spider-Man 49, Spidey's role in Blood Hunt becomes clear, and it involves, of course, Morbius. That's right, the web-slinger's main vampiric villain, Michael Morbius, is involved in the big vampire play, and Peter has to figure out if he needs to take out his fanged foe or save him. And then, moving on past Blood Hunt, now we're into regular books, we have Amazing Spider-Man 50. Big anniversary issue. The Green Goblin returns in this landmark and massive issue of Amazing Spider-Man that boasts not only a double-sized main story, but some instant Spider-Man classics by legions and legends to be. The sins of Norman Osborn have found their way home, and Norman shows his true color, green. But is it truly that simple? We also have a new miniseries, Venom Separation Anxiety. This is by David Michelinie. David Michelinie triumphantly returns to another all-new tale set in Eddie Brock's earliest days. Venom has made a new enemy, and their bond will be tested like never before when a foe with the power to alter reality itself threatens to tear Eddie's world apart, starting with his symbiote. We also have Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. This is by Joe Kelly and Andy Kubert. Wade Wilson and Loken at the ends of the earth and each other's throats. The mysterious Delta believes in change. Change is good. But as he sets his sights on Deadpool and Wolverine is caught up in the plot, is the third time really the charm or the curse? We have a new Doom one-shot. This is by Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green. In the near future, Doom alone must save the Marvel Universe. With Valeria Richards at his side, Doom goes on a quest to harness more power than any human has ever wielded before in order to try to stop Galactus from bringing about the death of the universe. We have Hellverine #1. When a demonic force known as Bagra Ghul first came to Earth, it brought Logan and Ghost Rider together to hunt it before it possessed Wolverine. But now, in the present day, what event will put Helverine back on the streets? And is he slashing his Hellfire claws for good or evil? And introducing the all-new Hellfire Warriors. We also have Get Fury. This is Garth Ennis returning with Jason Burrows on art. It's 1971. There is a war raging in Vietnam, and Nick Fury has been captured by the Viet Cong. At this moment, they don't quite understand that they have in their possession a man who knows enough secrets to damage the United States beyond comprehension. The CIA, however, does realize this, and they can't risk their enemy getting those secrets. So they dispatch the most deadly man in the U.S. Army, Lieutenant Frank Castle. We also have Giant Size X-Men #1. Hopefully it's as exciting as the original. The Avenging Angel loses himself in a dangerous maze of the mind. A mysterious card has lured the dashing Warren Worthington III, aka Angel of the X-Men, to a quiet New York street where he will undergo a torturous trial unlike any he's ever faced before. A brand new villain has it out for mutant kind and aims to start by knocking Angel out of the sky. We have X-Men The Wedding Special. Mystique and Destiny are one of the most beloved and longest running couples in history. Somewhere in their 100+ years together, the pair married, but we've never seen the event on the page. And with a couple as complex as these two, you know there's a lot more to the story. We promise party crashing, villainy, and romance. Wolverine 50 is the finale of the Sabretooth War, and also Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of X both conclude. Facsimile editions from Marvel this month are New Mutants 98, First Deadpool, Amazing Spider-Man 256, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars 5, and Avengers Annual 10, which is the first Rogue. And we also have a Star Wars Phantom Menace 20th Anniversary Special. Explore the earliest days and secret inner life of Anakin Skywalker with never-before-seen revelatory stories set before, after, and between the scenes of the classic movie, featuring the dream of a Jedi, the gift of a Tusken Raider, the heart of a Gungan, the ache of a mother, and the horror of a hero. Now on to what's coming from DC. Okay, new from DC in May, we have The Boy Wonder, and this is by manga creator extraordinaire Juni Ba. The young prince Damian Wayne was raised to be the heir to the fearsome League of Assassins, to follow in the footsteps of his deadly mother Talia and the demon's head himself, his grandfather Ra's al Ghul. But everything changed when his father, the Batman, reclaimed him and brought him back to Gotham City. As Robin, young Damian suddenly discovered he was merely one of a number of princes, preceded in the role by his brothers, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Red Robin. And Damian doesn't care to be merely anything. But when his father is forced to leave the city on urgent business, and a rash of abductions is accompanied by whispered of a demon stalking Gotham's dark alleys, Damian will find himself battling alongside his adoptive brothers, and in the process learning what the mantle of Robin really means. Also, House of Brainiac is continuing in Action Comics, Superman, and Power Girl. And for facsimile editions from DC, we have Crisis on Infinite Earths 2, Military Comics #1 from the 40s, which is the first Blackhawk, and Our Army at War #81, the first Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. Now let me tell you about all the neat stuff coming from Image Comics. From Image Comics, starting off, we have The Whisper Queen. This is by Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka. This is a sequel to a book he did a couple years ago called White Trees. They're also reprinting that. It was 2 issues. They're putting it in one big edition. It's a prequel to this story. The Whisper Queen is about the Royal Guard has sent their most capable bounty hunters after the accomplices in the king's murder. Javro, once the king's most skilled assassin, must find the killers before they and the bounty hunters, including her son, are wiped out by the kingdom's most feared specter, the Dark Whisperer. We also have Ain't No Grave. This is by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. This Unforgiven-style journey is an original macabre Western fantasy tale for mature readers, told through a Guillermo del Toro-esque lens. Ryder put her violent past behind her when she fell in love and became a mother. But that was before she learned it was all going to be taken away. Now she'll have to pick up her guns once again and ride to kill the one who's behind the threat, which just happens to be death. We also have Bear Pirate Viking Queen #1, a blood-spattered story of conquest. Bears, pirates, Vikings, and queens, all battling for their claim to determine what the world will become. We also have the Blood Squad 7. This is by Joe Casey. 30 years ago, they were America's premier celebrity superhero team. Seen on television, on tabloid magazine covers, scoring million-dollar endorsement deals. They were everywhere. Now a new generation takes up the mantle, or perhaps the poisoned chalice, fulfilling a promise made decades ago to be the heroes that a fractured America needs. Grommets #1 is by Rick Remender and Brian Posehn. Two best friend outcasts navigate the Sacramento suburbs of 1984, where they find a home in skateboard culture and punk rock. On one side of the coin, Grommets is an authentic look at 80s skate culture, a snapshot of a generation that turned skating into a worldwide phenomenon. On the other hand, it's a heartfelt, coming-of-age story that follows two friends from troubled homes as they navigate their damage in an era when no one cares. We have Lore Remastered, which is a story Ashley Wood did years ago. Jennifer Bradley's journey to solve the mystery of his father's death grows increasingly bizarre as what she discovers threatens not just her existence, but the entirety of modern society too. And Monolith is a new Spawn book. The origin of the hulkling Hellspawn is finally revealed. What connection does he have to one of the most savage of his kind, Omega Spawn? Follow his journey from the cosmic depths of Deep Spawn to the first encounter with Al Simmons. Now on to Boom Studios offerings. Boom brings us the return of Amory Wars with Amory Wars No World for Tomorrow. This is by Coheed and Cambria's frontman Claudio Sanchez and his wife are writing this. Claudio Kilgannon was thought dead by the Red Army, but a rising suspicion sends them on a trail to discover his fate. If Claudio is in fact still alive, he'll be in dire straits amidst the mystery and mayhem that's yet to unfold. We also have Crocodile Black. This is by Philip Kennedy Johnson. What makes someone turn to crime, especially in a modern pandemic-riddled dystopia? Danny, a seemingly mundane young man lost in escapism, with a spiraling lack of control over his life, witnesses something during a delivery job that will change him forever, turning things as dark as the black crocodile boots that he can't take his eyes off of. Dynamite has one of the bigger books of the month, and that is Space Ghost. I can't believe the excitement over Space Ghost. Greed and corruption flourish in the darkness between stars. With the territories of the Galactic Federation spread far and wide across the vastness of space, pirates and hijackers ransack the distant colonies with cruel disregard for the innocent scientists living within them. Yet there is a cosmic vigilante who metes out justice throughout the galaxy, bringing vengeance to those who prey upon the defenseless. Some say he is a policeman who has abandoned the structures of the law. Others say he is a phantom, the sole survivor of a war-torn planet. And those who have survived his wrath claim he is a force of nature, able to bend the very elements of creation to decimate his enemies. They call him Space Ghost, and his adventures begin here. Now on to what's coming from Dark Horse and IDW. There are a bunch of new ones from Dark Horse Comics this month. Starting off, Beyond the Pale. War correspondent Hedda Sawyer is looking into the disproportional loss of black soldiers in the Vietnam War. Leads say losses are especially high at Firebase Tartarus, with most of them simply gone missing, their fate unknown. Something sinister is happening at Tartarus, and Hedda intends to uncover the truth. We also have Anansi Boys. This is by Neil Gaiman and Sean Martinborough. Adapting Gaiman's award-winning novel, Fat Charlie Nancy leads a boring life as a boring Londoner until he discovers two things. That his recently deceased father was, in fact, Anansi, the spider, the trickster god of African folklore, and that he has a twin brother he's never met, which kicks off a reality-spanning odyssey of sibling rivalry, jealous deities, and one poor soul who'll realize what it means to be a god. We also have Into the Unbeing Part 1. A group of climate scientists working on a remote base camp in the Australian outback discover an impossible landform. They venture inside expecting the unexpected, and the titular Unbeing delivers. True to the traditions of cosmic horror, they discover an anomalous event that defies everything they think they know about the world. We also have Joy Operations Volume 2. This is by Brian Michael Bendis. Everything was fine until the Joy Operation, when one of the trusts implanted the psyche of one of their envoys into the master ex-envoy Joy Corrigan. Now Hampton and Joy live in the same body. They are just getting used to what that means for their life, love, and future when the world decides to blame them for everything that's gone wrong. It's Joy and Hampton against the world. We also have The Writer. In a dark turn, comic book writer Stan Siegel's life dives into a neo-Nazi occult nightmare. Writer plunges Stan into a whirl of Jewish folklore and magic. Amid demonic chaos and high-speed chases, Stan's hunger for answers unveils hidden identities, setting off a desperate race against time in this thrilling saga. To combat the rising tide of terror, Stan must become the hero from his pages. IDW has a bunch of turtle stuff. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha, written by Jason Aaron, who's going to be writing the new series. What's the world like without the Turtles? Since their time-spanning victory over Armageddon, the Turtles have started to pursue other interests, leaving a void in New York among humans and mutants alike. This special issue explores the effects of this change on those connected to the brothers. And we also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Black, White, and Green. It's the Turtles like you've never seen them before. This special series gathers up some of comics' most eclectic and exciting talent to bring their takes on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the page, taking the characters back to their origins in black and white independent comics, but with a touch of green. Now on to what's coming from everybody else. First off, from Titan, we have Gun Honey Collision Course. After nearly a year in hiding from government agents looking to kill her, Gun Honey Joanna Tan launches a plan to turn the tables that will take her from the jungles of Borneo to the streets of Yokohama and the sands of the Gobi Desert. But when 4 armed groups converge on one secret location, will anyone survive the explosive collision? Archie has a 3-parter, which is strange. Normally they just do one-shots, but this is Archie Comics Judgment Day. In a world overrun with demons, Archie Andrews is on a quest to cleanse Riverdale of all wicked kind. Harnessing the destructive power of a captive fiend, he will have to destroy corrupted and possessed versions of the people closest to him. Questioning his own morality and forced to make difficult sacrifices, are Archie's efforts truly good or the work of pure evil? Ahoy brings back My Bad with My Bad Escape from Peculiar Island. Unmasked and Exposed, the crime-fighting Chandelier is finally defeated by the IRS. Former U.S. President John Amazing Adams assumes governorship of the tropical Peculiar Islands. Valiant is back in a big way. We got 3 books this month. 4, actually. The Valiant's #1. A mysterious sinkhole emerges in the heart of D.C., devouring the newly erected Exo Memorial statue in its depths. But this is no ordinary sinkhole. It's a gateway to the faraway, a realm beyond imagination, teeming with peril and unknown wonders. Prepare for an epic adventure as Jamie Capshaw, the mastermind behind Valiant's new team, brings together an ensemble of extraordinary characters, including the iconic Eternal Warrior, Ninjak, Bloodshot, and other guest stars. We also have Faith Returns #1. When Faith's world crumbles under the weight of a wrongful accusation, she turns to the enigmatic Capshaw for aid. But every favor has its price, and now Faith finds herself in debt, not only to Capshaw, but also to Gate. Can she navigate the dangerous web of alliances to emerge victorious? We also have Rai, the Book of Dark. Hold on to your seats as Rai and Raijin face off against their ultimate nemesis, the sinister Dark. And we have Exo Man of War Invictus. Exo Man of War's unyielding quest for justice drives him to the heart of Nova Romanus to rescue the enigmatic soothsayer, unveiling an odyssey that tests power, loyalty, and the essence of heroism. Amidst the chaos, Shannara, the sentient armor, falls silent, shrouding the bond between warrior and armor in mystery. As Exo Man of War battles on multiple fronts, the arrival of the cosmic wanderer Ivar adds a layer of complexity to the intricate tapestry of fate. AWA has a new one from Mark Russell, Death Ratioed. It's a one-shot. In this futuristic dark comedy, life and death are ruled by social media. One too many dislikes, and you're dead. When Arnold awakes from a coma 20 years into the future, he discovers that government is a thing of the past and society is now entirely ruled by social media. Literally. Enough likes and upvotes can unlock fame and fortune, but watch your step. Enough thumbs down clicks and the nifty metal collar around your neck explodes, and you're dead. Now confused and running on his last like, Arnold must navigate a hazardous obstacle course in which social media clicks provide the only safe refuge, aware that the slightest online misstep can be fatal. Distillery has a new one, Blood Brothers Mother. This is by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso of 100 Bullets fame. In the Old West, 3 children set off across the wild Texas frontier to rescue their mother, kidnapped by ruthless outlaws who gunned down their preacher father. Throughout their journey, they'll face the harsh elements of an unforgiving landscape, deadly animals hungry for blood, merciless bounty hunters, and so much more. All in a relentless quest to rescue their family. They'll learn the terrible cost of revenge, not just in lives, but in how it stains a soul. Mad Cave has a new one called called Sanction Number 1, set in Leningrad, 1987. When a woman's corpse is discovered on New Year's Day, a hungover detective hands off the case to his partner, hoping he'll close it without fuss. Instead, he uncovers a connection to an old unsolved crime, dragging them both into an investigation that puts their careers and possibly their lives at risk. And Mugshots Number 1, Brighton, UK, 2008. The kidnapping of a young woman starts a chain of events that will set con artists, gangsters, killers, and a corrupt police on a collision course of violence. Meet John Bannon, self-proclaimed bastard and loving uncle, in this tale of family trauma, betrayal, murder, and revenge that threatens to bring the city's whole underworld down. Magma Comics, a new publisher, has a new one called The Scale Trade. This is by Steve Orlando. In a modern-day world one step removed from our own, dragons are a highly respected and highly endangered species, but poaching is an existential threat. When a young Anguillus joins the federal agency tasked with managing dragon populations, he quickly discovers that the entire system is corrupt. After seeing firsthand the cruelty of the system, our newly radicalized dragon savior takes matters into his own hands. And lastly, Oni Press has one called Toxic Summer. Best friends Ben and Leo had the perfect summer planned after high school graduation. As lifeguards in the idyllic beach town of Port Dorian, they were planning for 3 months of late-night bonfires and no regrets, until a toxic spill of unknown properties on the beach transformed their dream summer into a walking nightmare. Now Port Dorian is flooded with panicked tourists, and a horrifying pack of subhuman monstrosities is snatching beachgoers in the night. So that's all the new stuff that's coming. Of course, we have all your next issues of your favorite series. Those are all still coming out. So don't forget, Saturday, May 4th is Free Comic Book Day. Come on down. Lots of stuff to choose from. We'll be having big sales at the store, and we'll have food outside on the grill. Book Club is Friday, May 31st. We're doing I Hate Fairyland. And our spotlight this month is on Star Wars graphic novels. If you have any questions, the website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.
I want summer.
I will also yell to obtain what I don't currently have, like shoes that match my pouches. But if we all got what we wanted by screaming and or murdering folks... Wait, are you American? That would explain so much.
Deadpool.